Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Purch It Podcast. Joining me today is Aaron Moody of Aaron Moody Designs. Aaron, how you doing?
I'm really good, thanks. Thanks for inviting me on.
Great to have you on. So tell people a bit more about yourself.
Yeah, so like I say, my name's Aaron. I'm a freelance UI, UX, and brand designer from the Northeast. I've been freelancing full time for about 6 months now, but prior to that, I've worked for about 10 years at an e-commerce agency called VisualSoft. If you're in the general Northeast area, you might have heard of them. So yeah, I did that for about 10 years, and then I just kind of during all this like pandemic when everyone was working from home, I got the feeling that's what I wanted to do full time. Really, is work from home for myself. So I took the plunge in November 2020, and so far it's been paying off really well.
That's awesome. So how did you get to the position of being a visual soft? Because I know that's quite big in the Northeast,
Yeah,
especially in Middlesbrough.
yeah, definitely. Well, it's quite lucky, really. It's like I say, it's my hometown is from there, from Stockton. And I just applied when I was actually still at college in my final year of college. So luckily I'd been doing freelance on the side, just like little odd jobs, things like that, just to kind of dip my toe into it really. So I had a little bit of a portfolio, a little bit of a leg up. So when I applied, I already had a bit of an edge on some people, I guess. So luckily, yeah, I could work there part time while I was finishing my college course, and I did that one day a week for about 6 months, and then that turned into my full time role. And although I loved it at VisualSoft, it was never meant to be. I was never meant to be there for 10 years. My plan was to move to a bigger city maybe and kind of go down that route, but it just never happened. But luckily, VisualSoft kept on growing and doing great things. So I stayed with them and working my way right to like second in the design team at the time. So I was senior designer with my manager one above me. So it was it was good. Enjoyed it.
That's really interesting. So you did the college straight into employment. You didn't do
Yeah.
the uni route.
No, I would have liked to have gone to uni just for the experience, really. Just go out, get drunk. But I thought if there's no point me going to uni to get a job, which I've already been offered, so yeah, I went
Yeah.
straight from college and straight into full time employment. So that's really good.
Yeah, I did a year at Teesside, so
Right.
I know Middlesbrough quite well. It was quite an eye opener the first week, but I enjoyed it
I can
so
imagine.
much. So, what attracted you into the world of UI UX design and that whole space?
Yeah, so I got into design in general, designing like forum signatures back in the day when forums were a thing. So I started doing that on a RuneScape forum, and then I got kind of a bit of a name for myself, like doing good design as I learned that sort of challenge. And then I thought, oh, I can actually make a career of this. People are making money from doing this sort of thing. I'm going to look into this a little bit more. So then I found design specific forums. Um, Started playing about in there. Really liked the community aspect of getting to know people, and everyone was kind of the same but also different as well. And I really enjoyed that sort of aspect of about it. And then yeah, it's basically moved from I wanted to make this my career. What's the best way to make money from what I'm enjoying doing, which would be design. So I started doing a little bit of graphic design. That moved on to website design. I started designing actual forum skins, things like that. Just any little jobs that I could do, and got a little bit of money. At the time, it was only like 50 quid, £100 for a full site. So it wasn't great money, but it was good to kind of get that learning step really.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think. Sorry to cut you off there.
that's right.
I think that's perfect. Like, you take the low paying jobs just to keep building up your skills, and
Yeah.
it's paid off for you. I've saw your website, and it's very impressive.
Thanks for that.
So, what were you saying at the end there?
I was just saying that yeah, like I said, just moved on from doing websites, getting a little bit more, increasing the price as the years gone on, incrementally, until I could take on the bigger jobs. And then, like I say, that allowed me to build up a portfolio to land quite a good job really. So yeah, and then just kept on going from there, being on Twitter, being on Dribble, trying to keep up with all the designs that way. It always adds to your learning and makes you a better designer.
And through that process, do you think you've built sort of like a following, like a community that really enjoy your work?
Um, it's hard to say. I feel like I've been quite lucky that I do attract quite a lot of I would say quite a lot, but I get a decent amount of work in, but I wouldn't say I have a community or anyone that follows me. I don't think I'm at that level. But that is something that I'm actively trying to kind of improve on, is my kind of social presence, I guess. Hence why I like doing this, and maybe later in this year I want to maybe start like a YouTube channel, things like that. Because I think that is quite an important aspect of design. Is especially nowadays, it's not just being a good designer anymore. You've got to have all the other kind of soft skills that come along with it. So that would probably be my key advice to any new people, is to really put some effort into your social presence or building your own community and things like that.
Yeah, you sort of have to become a brand in yourself,
Yeah,
don't you? Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
So I think this is a bit of a I saw this question a lot for like UI UX designers, and it's basically, what does design mean to you?
Right. It's a tough one. Just, you get some designers which they kind of make design seem like this godlike status, like we're saving the world or something. Like I don't see it like that personally. I think it's a really fun job, where you get to be creative, you get to talk to new people, you get to work on a wide range of challenges. But it's a career. It's a fun career that's suitable for some people and it's not suitable for others. But luckily, I really like design. I like the combination of being creative as well as the business side, because I quite enjoy that as well. The entrepreneurial, working on like startup sort of things like that. So if you're into that, then I think design's a brilliant route for that type of person.
That's brilliant. And like on the business side, because behind all the beautiful visuals and thing, it is a business. So for you, was there any challenges coming out of, say, Visual Soft and then working for yourself? Was there any big challenges there on the business side?
Um, like I said, from working at Visual Stuff, it's always kind of had the UX and like the conversion being at the forefront of everything we do. Like we're built to convert, we're built to make our clients more money. So I've always had that kind of business aspect kind of drilled into me. That it's not just about the fluffy prettiness about it, even though that's what I really enjoy doing. You've got to have a broader kind of thought process on that. I'd say that currently one of the biggest challenges I'm having is actually balancing the workload. I know it will probably slow down, but currently I've been maxed out since going freelance, and I don't really want to turn it down because maybe next month nothing will come in. So it's finding that balance of what work to take on, what work that I could potentially outsource, or what work is just not worth my time anymore. Luckily I'm at that stage, but like I say, I know that especially being a freelancer, you've got your highs and your lows, so you've got to kind of equate for that. That's what I'm trying to actually build a little network of freelancers or contractors that I can outsource some of my overflow to. Basically, that's one of my goals for this year, is to kind of set up almost a mini agency. So any work that doesn't need me personally to work on it, I would always oversee everything, obviously. And then I could just kind of put that on through my agency rather than through me directly. That's something I'm trying to set up. So that's one of my challenges, just actually balancing the workload to try and spread it out rather than get a lot of work in and have to spend a lot of time doing it. And that's one of the reasons I went freelancing the first place, is to actually have more time, not spending all my time working like I have done in the past.
Yeah, I've been in that agency sort of environment, and it doesn't really pain you, but it does sort of annoy you when you have to say, sorry, I can't take that project
Yeah,
this month,
yeah, definitely.
with the hope that they come back. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's one of
that
those catch-22
that's what it is.
situations, isn't it?
Someone says, "Oh, like, would you like to do this project?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love to do that project, but I can't do it for maybe a month or two." And like, it's unfortunate. I think that there's definitely a need for some sort of service which kind of brings clients in, but more in the future, if that makes sense. So help freelancers line up future work, because every lead that I get is they want to work now, which obviously if you're a seasoned freelancer, you're probably going to be fully booked, unfortunately. So I think there's a kind of a gap in the market there to make it almost like a job board for future work or work in a month or so's time. That'd be good.
Yeah, and what I think, I mean, it's not a knock on anyone. I think what's missing is the human element. People forget that you are human. You know, you've
Yeah,
got a life outside
yeah,
of,
yeah.
well, not outside as because we're on lockdown,
Yeah,
but
not
like, you
anymore.
know, you have your, you know, your downtime, your
Oh yeah,
family, and
yeah, definitely. Well, for me as well, I've got a 7-month-old daughter, so that's again a big reason I went freelance, is to spend more time with her and being at home more, things like that. So for me to take the work on, which I'd like to do, it's obviously having a knock-on effect in I can't spend that time with her, which yeah, it's got to find a good balance really.
do you think it's been a positive learning curve though, trying to balance your life to your work life?
Yeah, definitely, and it all adds to your kind of skill set of being able to balance all the things. It's prioritizing things, it's prioritizing tasks, it's prioritizing your time management. So it's like I say, it's all a learning curve, and it all adds to just building yourself as a human, not even just as a designer. It's just a good skill to have, really.
And so we talked about some challenges there. Was there any like personal challenges that you felt you had to get over to achieve to basically get where you are now?
Um, I'm sure there has been many. Like I say, the main one would be just balancing that. But in the early days, it's actually probably finding the work, or finding the work for the the price that you're wanting to charge. I think it's easy to find work if you're willing to work for a very low fee, but you've got to kind of keep your own personal threshold of quality, and you've got to make sure you're getting the quality of life for the commitment that you're putting in, basically. So I'd definitely say in the early stages, in the last maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, I was probably charging too little just because I wanted that extra money. And it back then, it wasn't because it wasn't my only income being a freelancer. I was just taking on the work because it was just bonus money, essentially. Whereas I think if I stuck to my guns a little bit more, I could probably have elevated it a little bit further by now. Like I say, it's paying off quite well so far, so I can't complain too much.
Yeah, I think there's a great insight there about your pricing as well, pricing yourself a bit too low.
Mhm.
Um, what was the process of that? Did you just trial and error, try this price, save the bite?
Basically, yeah. I had a kind of a loose sort of hourly rate, but I'd prefer to quote on a per project basis. So I'd kind of scope out in my head, or written down, and what was needed, and kind of estimate in my head how long I think that would take, and give them a rough price, basically. And then sometimes I would give them that price and be, oh, that's too much. He's not going to pay me that. So I'd knock it down myself, and where he might have paid it. And I was actually finding that when I was pricing them, they'd accept it straight away. So I was like, oh, I should have went for more. And that's something that I've kind of developed, is to go that little bit higher, because you can always come down, but it's a lot harder to go up once you've kind of set that precedent of this is how much you charge. So when he does come back, he'll be expecting to pay that much again.
Yeah. Do you think there's an element of self-belief that sort of impacts the price as well?
Definitely is. Yeah, I'd say so. Mhm.
Yeah, that's really great because I know a lot of students think about, oh, I'll just go by myself. I'll do my own thing,
Mhm.
entrepreneurship and all that. But there's little things like that, like pricing
Mhm.
and work-life balance that
Yeah.
they haven't experienced yet, but they
Yeah.
will. It's like they haven't grasped it yet.
Yeah.
That's really
Definitely.
interesting.
Mhm.
So looking back in your career, um, I'm seeing as though you're retired. Sorry about that. So looking back on your career to date, is there any like key highlights that stand out that makes you sit back and think, yeah, I did really well there?
There's one that I always kind of come back to, which I probably should let it die now, because it was in 2015. But I got nominated by for Young Designer of the Year by .NET Magazine, which, although I didn't win it, it was really good because I didn't apply for that or anything. It was just kind of out of the blue. Like, it was submitted by just other people, basically, like randomers. I just
Yeah.
put my name forward. So I was, even just to be like considered for that from quite a big, like, .NET Magazine. It's quite a big player in the industry. It was always quite a nice thing to look back on. I was thought of as one of the rising stars, let's say. Like I say, it was back to 2015, so it was a long time ago. But
No,
yeah, that was
keep promoting it.
yeah. I've just took it off my CV now. I think retired it, but I'll always remember that one.
No, that's really good. And on like, was any projects that you did that really stood out and made you think,
There's
"Oh, what I'm doing here is pretty good."
Yeah, there's one that I'm kind of working on now. It's actually one of my like design heroes. Went full-time freelance, he was looking. It just so happened he was looking for some extra support on some projects as well. It was Morgan Knudsen. He used to work at Dropbox, Google, things like that, and I've been following him for a long time. Really, really great designer. So yeah, he was put a tweet out, so I thought, oh, I might as well put my name forward. Just not really thinking I was at kind of that level where he would be interested. But yeah, he reached out to me and we had a chat. And yeah, I've been working with him on quite a few projects now for about 4 months, something like that. We're working on one at the moment. It's like a home at home COVID test. We've worked on like a live streaming platform for musicians and comedians to kind of continue to work in this COVID era where you can't actually go to gigs. That was quite a fun one to work on. So yeah, it's I'd say that was another really highlight of my career. Really, is to work with someone that I've been following for a long time, and yeah, that's been really good.
That's really cool. I would love to meet some of my heroes.
Yeah,
So would you encourage? You said there you just reached out of the blue. Would you
Mhm.
encourage that for people
Yeah, definitely.
often?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would probably say that that's how I've got most of my clients since going freelance. When I was doing it part time, like alongside my full time role, I didn't really feel that I should be reaching out in the public, if that makes sense. So obviously, once I went freelance, I've been a lot more vocal about looking for work or wanting to work with people, and I'd have found that Twitter is the best place to do that. You can search for specific keywords and find people looking, or you just if you follow enough people in kind of our industry or just in like the startup sort of world, there's so many people looking for good designers. I haven't struggled to find any currently, or at least I haven't struggled to find leads, I should say. Obviously, you're going to get rejections, you're going to get people not reply to you, things like that. But yeah, I would definitely recommend people just reach out, just send a message. Most people are quite friendly.
And what's sort of your process of approaching a client? I mean, don't give away any trade secrets, but like, what's your sort of go-to?
Uh, I always like to jump on a video call if I can, if the time allows. Well, what I should start that with, we'll have a quick email back and forth or a tweet sort of in the DMs just to make sure that we're in general a good fit. In general, that this is something that I'd like to work on and that I would be a good fit for the client because it works both ways. We've got to both work for each other essentially. And so if that kind of aligns, then I jump on a call and kind of get a better understanding for what they want, what they need, and how I can actually assist them. And be that through logos, UI, UX, websites, things like that. And yeah, just basically have a little chat on video, and then I always like to follow up with an email just so it's written in black and white, just to kind of I'll overview what we've just discussed, essentially, literally repeat what we discussed just to make sure we're on the exact same page. And then I will, as long as we're all married up there, that's all fine. Then I like to make a Notion document, which again I'll write down exactly what they want, just to make sure we're on the same page, along with my pricing like plan, so that they can either agree to that or ask for some amends, change the scope, things like that. And then once that's all agreed, I'll actually keep them in Notion and kind of turn Notion into a project management platform there. So I've built my own little kind of platform, not platform, but use it on top of Notion. I've built it in a way that works for me and how I manage my project. So I like to invite the client into that page and they can see everything that's going on. So I can upload the files directly in there. I can list all my tasks in there so they can see what I'll be working on this week, things like that. So I think it's really good to work quite closely with the client. That's how I like to work anyways. It's more of a collaboration because they know their business better than I will ever know their business. So yeah, it's good to work closely.
Yeah, the key point that I took away is communication,
Mm-hmm.
constant communication throughout your
Yeah,
process.
yeah, definitely.
Because I think from projects that we've worked on in the past, some clients are a bit standoffish. whereas you, total opposite, you bring them on board, which I think is
Yeah,
really
like you
a
say,
good tip for people.
I could even like bring them into like our Slack, make a channel on Slack for them, and a bit more instant messaging there. I don't do that all the time, but if the client or if the project's big enough, then yeah, I'll make a Slack channel for them. Like so, if I wouldn't like to jump on a video call every single day with them, but at the initial stage, I think it's good to get on a call or a video call just to kind of get a better feel for each other. And then from there, I like to keep it either an email or on Notion. Just yeah.
And not to put you on the spot here, and you don't have to name names at all, but have you had any bad client experiences?
I wouldn't say bad, but there's ones where probably could have been managed better on both sides, especially in the early days. Like I would maybe not reply to an email straight away, and then you get to that point where now it's been 2 days now. Best to reply. Then you forget again, or you'd put it off again, and it just leaves a bad taste. And then on the flip side, the same things happen to clients. Like they'll not reply to me for a couple of days, or they just won't give me feedback for a couple of days or weeks sometimes. And then I get busy because obviously you need to fill your time, and then they come back randomly and want you to just pick it up straight away, and you have to have that awkward conversation of I'm kind of working on something else now. So yeah, I've had a few awkward conversations and some invoices where you've had to spend more time than you'd like chasing up. But I'd say on the whole, I've been quite lucky with the clients that I've worked with.
No, that's brilliant. Yeah, the dreaded awkward conversation about
Yeah,
money is always
yeah,
an interesting chat.
yeah,
No,
definitely.
that's great. So from your experience, what advice would you give sort of people thinking about getting into the UI UX space or
Mhm.
going to uni or college to learn this? What advice would you give them?
I would like to say that what we said earlier about the kind of building your own social network essentially. I'd say that was one of the key things I would recommend if you want to do this as a career. Uh, to learn in terms of learning UI UX, I think that will just come if you are naturally passionate about this. Obviously, go and dribble, follow designers that you like. Maybe try recreating some of their designs, just to kind of learn the actual tools. But for me personally, if you want to make this your career, that will kind of just come naturally through time and through practice. But it's the soft skills of building your own network, of being active in the industry. That's what's going to actually get the attention of clients, the attention of other designers, to make friends and to make a long lasting career. That's what you need the most, is actual your own network outside of that. In terms of uni, I wouldn't not recommend it, but I can't recommend it because I didn't go. But I'd say just make sure you go for the right reasons, not the reasons that I probably would have went for. Yeah, because I think you can learn everything that you need to outside of uni for a hell of a lot cheaper, as long as you've got that passion. Like, don't go to uni if you're not 100% passionate about this being your career, because you're just going to waste your money. Yeah, I think you can find out if this is for you without spending that money. That'd be my biggest advice.
No, that's great advice. And what's been the best advice given to you?
Probably just to actually take the job rather than go to uni, just because, like I say, I could have spent tens of thousands of pounds at university to come out and maybe not even get that job, because it's such a tough career to get into, because everyone wants to do it now. It's a kind of flavor of the month is to be a UI UX designer. So yeah, I'd say that was a good call on my part, is to actually not go down that route, to actually focus on that career when it was handed to me, essentially.
Yeah, sort of embracing the opportunity when it
Exactly.
comes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
I think
great
that was.
stuff. We're flying through our questions here, mate.
I know, too quick, I know.
So I'll ask you one more, and it's more of a future goal. In
Mhm.
5 years' time, where do you see yourself? What are the goals? What are the ambitions?
Yes. I think I mentioned that I'd like to set up a bit of a network of freelancers. I'd like to kind of continue on with that and maybe make that into more of an agency. So I've set something up called northdigital.io. That's what I'm kind of building in the background alongside my freelance business. And that's going to be a lot more focused on startups and helping people from the ground up with everything visual design basically. So I think in 5 years I'd like to see that kind of come to fruition, and maybe have an employee, something like that. I don't want it to be anything big, but I'd like it to be something that can run without me. So kind of making money in the background basically, so that it frees up more time for me. That's my kind of business goal, is to get it to a point where I can not be as hands on. That's what I'd like to do.
No, I think I like the sound of that.
Mm.
Because just personally where we are with our startup,
Mm.
our visuals been done all in house.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a designer, but I pitch in my 2 cents here and there. So if something was like that, I think people would really jump on that opportunity.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
No, it's been brilliant. I've loved this conversation. So, where can people find you online?
Yeah, so my website is aaronmoody.co.uk. There's also northdigital.io is my agency site. And then just on Twitter, which is @I'm Aaron Moody. You can find me on there, just reach out. I'm happy to talk to anyone or offer any more advice or anything like that.
Brilliant. I think there'll be a few people coming your way for tips and tricks in the near
Yeah.
future.
Yeah,
But
hopefully
Aaron,
I've got more to say.
sorry, Aaron, what you saying?
I'm just saying, hopefully I've got some more advice to say when they come with me on there. I'll be able to help out anyone needs it.
No, I've thoroughly enjoyed your time, and thank you for doing this as well.
No problem.
Like I said before we kicked off the podcast, we're looking for a variety of people to be on it to share their
Yeah,
stories and experiences. So this has been brilliant.
yeah. Hopefully some people more get involved, and it keeps growing for you as well. Hope it does really well.
Brilliant.
Mhm.
Yeah, so video will be on YouTube. So I encourage everyone to like and subscribe and share, and go follow Aaron on all the social medias. And it's northdigital.io.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Is that live?
It's live at the moment, but it will be improving. It's kind of a temporary page, but it's all right for the time being.
I'd encourage everyone to go check that out because it sounds really cool.
I will.
Brilliant. Thank you, Aaron.
No problem. Thanks a lot. See you later.